Hello, I'm Ros Schwartz, and I'm going to be reading an excerpt from my translation of Mireille Gansel's Traduire comme transhumance, translation as transhumance. A second glass of light. It was a beautiful July day in the summer of 1974. The Provençal light, the rural road to the Île-sur-la-Sorgue, winding through the vineyards and lavender fields, and on the horizon the blue crests of the Luberon. The road, a bridge between the banks of the Sorgue, and a poet from Hanoi, Te Han, a poet from a country that had been at war for so many decades, who was excited by the great journey that translation represented for him. The day before I left Hanoi for a short holiday in France, he confided in me his dream that one day he might discover and translate some other French poetry than the official Hanoi canon, the poetry of Louis Aragon, Paul Éluard, Pierre Gamarin. I spoke to him of René Char. And that was how I came to be driving down this road of light on that July day, past the Île-sur-la-Sorgue, a little farther on the left, his house, Les Buclas, which I had been looking forward to seeing for so long, suddenly came into view. I pushed open the old gate. René Char, the embodiment of intelligence and humanity, came out to meet me. I had not called to say I was coming. How would I have introduced myself? There were no steps up to the house. He showed me into the cool, dim, low-ceilinged living room and poured me a glass of Muscat de Baume de Venise, whose golden glow was warm as the sun, even as it exuded the exquisite coolness of mysterious subterranean cellars. I had barely finished talking about the Vietnamese poet, inseparable from his little bag full of books and his mad dream to translate him, when René Char poured me a second glass of light, left the room, and came back with his hands full of poems. In delicate, elongated handwriting like black cypresses straining in the Mistral, he wrote words on the fly leaves, as if extending his hand in friendship, and told me to embrace his brother in poetry on his behalf. I left with those treasures in my bag, or rather my shepherd's satchel, because that little Provençal road made me think of transhumance, the long, slow movement of the flocks to distant places in search of the greenest pastures, the low plains in winter and the high valleys in summer. All the ancient routes that have witnessed encounters and exchanges in all the dialects of the umbrella language of Provençal. So it is with the transhumance routes of translation, the slow and patient crossing of countries, all borders eradicated, the movement of huge flocks of words through all the vernaculars of the umbrella language of poetry. Te Han, transported by writing that was both so foreign and yet so infinitely familiar, read with wonderment Char's dedications to him, steeped in the sense of Les Buclas. Char's poem emerged from this great journey into Vietnamese as if it had been hewn from the earth of the rice fields. Translation and poetry, a far-off encounter at the confines of language, on the watershed, the essence of hospitality.